Dr. Ernest Ndukwe or his representative. Dr. Mrs. Veji Anohu. Dr. Mrs. Veji Anohu. Dr. Anthony Aka. Dr. Anthony Aka, Managing Director, NERC. Dr. Emmanuel Egboga. Dr. Emmanuel Egboga, former Presidential Advisor on Petroleum Affairs. Dr. Emmanuel Egboga. Dr. Joe Milo. Dr. Joe Milo is a globally acclaimed cardiologist. Dr. Joe Milo. Dr. Oke Orama, the president of Afrexim Bank. Dr. Oke Orama, president, Afrexim Bank. Emeka Emowa, Group Managing Director of Union Bank of Nigeria. Mr. Emeka Emowa. Engineer Otis Oliver Anyechi. So Willie Mokoye is receiving that of Emeka Emowa. Engineer Otis Oliver Anyechi. Engineer Otis Anyechi, the President of Nigeria Society of Engineers. Engineer Otis Oliver Anyechi and his wife, President Nigeria Society of Engineers, Ogwonyo Okija. Yes. Group Captain retired Benson Okoye, the PG of Ubo. I'm not in charge of goal and don't tell you where the war down when the war down. Group Captain retired Benson Okoye. High Chief Senator Ben Obi, CON, National Secretary, PDP. High Chief Senator Ben Obi, CON, Ojeli Bonine, Okuzona Baligwe, the National Secretary of PDP. Next is Ojeli Boninozi, High Chief Senator Ben Obi, CON, Okuzuna Bazigwe, National Secretary of PDP. Yes. Distinguished Senator also, Honorable Engineer Ebele Okeke CFR, Honorable Engineer Ebele Okeke CFR, former Head of Service of the Federation of Nigeria. Mrs. Elsie Ikemefuna. Mrs. Elsie Ikemefuna, former head of service, Anambra State. Mrs. Kathy Echozo. Mrs. Kathy Echozo, Deputy MD GTB. Mrs. Kathy Echozo, Deputy MD GTB. Mrs. Roseline Nkem Obi. Mrs. Roseline Nkem Obi. She is the award-winning teacher. There was a national teachers competition. She represented Anambra State and she won. She came first. #1 teacher in Nigeria. This can only happen during the regime of His Excellency Chief William Adabro Chukwuobiano. Mrs. Roseline Nkem Obi. Mrs. Roseline Nkem Obi, award-winning teacher, the best teacher in Nigeria from Anambra State. Elsie Ikemefuna, former head of service Anambra State. Yes, she's the one coming now. And also former commissioner for youth and sports Anambra State. A woman of honor that deserves honor. Oh yes. Thank you. Next. Mr. Nnamdi Okonkwo. Mr. Nnamdi Okonkwo, the brilliant and youthful group managing director of Fidelity Bank PLC, taking the bank to the next level. Nnamdi Okonkwo, very handsome, youthful, brilliant, erudite and obeying managing director of Fidelity Bank PLC. Group managing director indeed. Oscar Onyema. Director General of Nigeria Stock Exchange, Mr. Oscar Onyema. Osita Chidoka. Osita Chidoka. Osita Chidoka, the former head of Federal Road Safety Corps and also former Minister of Aviation. Osita Chidoka, please. Distinguished Senator Princess Stella Odua. Senator Princess Stella Odua. Senator Alphonsus Igbeke Obanese. Senator Alphonsus Igbeke Obanese. Engineer Emeka Eze. Engineer Emeka Eze, immediate past Director General of BPP in the presidency, Bureau of Public Procurement in the presidency. Engineer Emeka Eze, OFR. Chief Mrs. Victoria Nwakobi. Chief Mrs. Victoria Nwakobi. Biko near.